Good morning, good morning. I'm pretty sure this is started. Pretty sure. Alright. The only thing is, I only have one deck ready. I didn't pick up the other one yet. I am unsure right now what one I want. Just give me a second. It's going to be an energy deck, I know that. Yeah, it's tossed up between one or two. Okay. Today's human message basically is, are you the victor or the victim? And we have choices that when I was younger I never understood that we had. Try and fix that a little bit. I honestly didn't. I did not know or understand the fact that I could choose the outcome of a situation. I just thought that whatever happened is what happened, and that was it. That was where we were at. And it was hurtful, painful, deceiving, disappointing, whatever it may be. And that was the end of it. And that's the way it would always be. And as I grew up, I struggled a lot with liking myself. I didn't like myself at all. At all. And I knew I was not a happy person. And that is where I started to figure out how to change things, because I wanted to change. I didn't like the way I was. I didn't like how I was with myself. I just was in a ball of misery and I hated it. So I started different things. I started taking self-empowerment classes. I went to counseling. I just thought too much about how I was and why I was the way I was. Back in 1997, I decided I wanted to learn what made me tick. Why did I do the things I did? And that was what transformed me ultimately, because the more I looked into it, the more I understood, the farther I went. Now, I'm also going to admit that a lot of times that was also where it got to be too much, and I had a hard time looking at myself. I had a hard time being honest within myself about myself. And I think that's where a lot of us also struggle, is because when the bad stuff happens to us, it's not our fault. Never has been, never will be. Not our fault. But we take that responsibility on, and we don't understand exactly what that means. And it took me a long time to figure it out. But what it means is I'm responsible for how I deal with or don't deal with the events that happen to me in my life. And again, that goes back to the victory or victim. And it's just like I said the other day, I think it was on our live with Kevin yesterday afternoon, where everything is positive in the end. If it's not positive, you're not at the end. That does not mean that the surroundings will make it positive. That means you need to make it positive. You need to figure out how to take the shitty stuff that you've been through and make it a glorious outcome. It's no secret as to what I had encountered and overcome in my life. I'm very open about the abuse and trauma and tragedy that I have experienced. And that's exactly the whole point, is moving from victim, which is where I lived for the majority of my life. And part of it's because I didn't know any better. Part of it was because I didn't know how to change it. I didn't have those guidelines. I had people tell me, oh, just get over it, or quit using that as your excuse. But it was not just in my head. It was like embedded in me somehow. And that is, again, how I got into doing the spiritual healings that I'm doing, because I kept at it. I kept wanting to know, how can I change this? What can I do? Because I wasn't desperate for it, but I certainly had a need for it. I needed to change. I wanted to change. And I really love the person that I am becoming, or that I have become. I love the fact that I have these gifts. I used to be really upset about it. I used to be like, well, I'm so different than everybody else. Nobody understands what I'm doing. Nobody can grasp this concept. Or people would just tell me I was just out and out wrong. And they would tell me, no, you don't do that. You have to do it like this. And it's like, I had to step back and go, these are my gifts. God gave these to me. I have to be trusting in that. And I have to understand who I am. And it took me a couple of years to embrace the fact that I am different. So I'm different. And I love that about me. I love that I am not just a regular Reiki practitioner or anything like that. I am different. So, good morning, Leanne. Yes. Victor or victim? It's a choice. And I didn't realize that I had those choices. In the victor or victim, like, it could be something as simple as going on, like, the fair rides. Go on the fair ride and your glasses get broken. Well, then you're upset for the day. Well, then that's where you're taking a victim standpoint, right? Rightfully so. It's just like, man, like, that is a downer. If you break your glasses, you can't see, it's a downer. You know, the whole process of it. But it doesn't mean that you're a victim. It doesn't mean you have to be a victim. That is that old saying, your mess is your message. So when you can learn to be victorious over the event in your life that could create a victim out of you, that is your strong point. Those are gifts. Those are the things that you get to present to other people and be like, hey, I can help you with that because I've overcome that. And that's really powerful. You know, I talk to a lot of people about a lot of everything. And the fact that I can stand here and truthfully say, I have overcome depression, I've overcome suicidal thoughts, I've overcome racing thoughts, I've overcome anxiety, I've overcome panic attacks. I'm almost going to get choked up because I'm so proud of myself. It's a beautiful feeling to sit here and go, I am not destroyed because of these things. I remember days where I would be too scared to leave my house because my ex would be stalking me, literally. And I would hide because I knew that in my house I have a 4-level split, but it's not the side-by-side, it's the back-to-back 4-level split. And I knew if I went downstairs and my family room downstairs had the lights off upstairs, nobody could tell if we were home or not. And I did that a lot. I hid a lot because I was scared of knowing that he was stalking me. So that was taking a victim side. And I overcame that. I just realized I couldn't live like that. I didn't want to live like that. And the power that I took back because I stopped living like that, because I pushed myself forward into my life. I pushed myself through the anxiety. I pushed myself through the panic attacks to do it, to do whatever it was that was in front of me. And I won. That's victory. I won over my ex, and I won over the anxiety, and I won over the panic attacks. You know, it's hard now, I'm finding, to help teach the younger generations that you don't give in to the anxiety. You feel it, you accept that it's there, you have compassion and love for yourself that it's there, for the reasons why you're feeling that panic and anxiety, but you slowly take those steps forward anyways. If it is driving and you don't like crossing bridges, because forever and a day, bridges were I don't like them. Slow it down, but keep going. Be mindful of yourself. Don't let yourself get wired up with that anxious feeling, and then all of a sudden you've lost control. But yeah, victory or victim? Thank you, Leanne. And Leanne has been on my journey with me oh my gosh, I think we're going on almost 20 years that we've been friends, and she's helped me change, and I'm forever grateful for you, Leanne, and Steve, um, for all the nights and times that you've listened to me, even when I knew that I was like sounding like a broken record and I needed to get past wherever I was at, and having all of that support from you. Um, it meant the world to me. All my friends that have helped me through this and helped me on this journey, I have so much gratitude for you. Anyways, where are we going? Our first 3 pull deck is the Energy Oracle cards. This is actually the first one that I had pulled out out of my deck, or out of my bag, but I wasn't sure exactly if it was this one or the next one. Sometimes I need to feel the energy of the conversation before I know exactly what deck we're using. So yeah, that was what come to me today. It's like you're either the victor or the victim, and you do get to choose. Sometimes we need to build ourselves up. Sometimes we need to heal before we can get to the point where we have control over these options. That's what I had to do. I had to heal. I had to heal the stuff that was keeping me in that victim state. There's a lot of stuff that's happened. There's a lot of stuff that happens to a person. There's things that other people have gone through that I don't think I'd ever been able to live through. I often said too that what my younger self lived through, what I lived through as a child, I don't know if I'd be strong enough to live through it as an adult. I really don't know. But anyway, let's get on with our cards. And I feel like my guide is here already, and he's like applauding. He's like, that's it, lady. Shift your energy. Shift your state of being. Shift that self. So, our first card is Woman Holding a Heart. This one comes up quite often in this deck. Love. Oh, number 44. That's amazing. I saw the numbers 444 yesterday. I thought that was pretty cool. Numbers have been coming up a lot as symbols for me lately. And my symbols alternate between the 3 things: the hearts, the feathers, and numbers. Second card, please. Walking away. She went through the gate. She changed. She moved. That is awesome. I like that one. And the last card is Blossoming Abundance. So, on that note, I know that when I was able to take control of the anxiety, it's not that I never have it again, it's just I never have it where I'm like having an anxiety attack. It's just like, ooh, I'm getting a little excited. But it's not debilitating where it's stopping me from doing something anymore. Like, it doesn't happen like that anymore. I don't need medication for this stuff. And I'm proud of myself for that. And I'm not saying that that's the path for everybody, but that's just my path. So the Blossoming Abundance, when I was able to let go of that stuff, when I was able to set myself free, it opened me up to life again. It opened me up to new experiences. It opened me up to being willing to experience things because I'm not scared of being scared. And I literally was in those positions in my own life where I'm scared to do anything, scared to do everything. And I was looking for the most safest, secure path in life that I could possibly find. And what I found is, well, let me rephrase this. What I've noticed is that since I've done all this work and all that stuff is done, God's like, okay, Loya, poof. And then everything just kind of went, poof. Everything kind of scattered to the point where he's like, now you got to walk on your own. Now you got to figure this out. And feeling like I had all my security taken from me, my things that I would rely on as true as there, and it's not there, and now I'm relying on myself. That's a lot harder to get through as well. A lot harder. Thank you, Leanne. So, our Star Dragon, that is the spirit side messages. And again, I just hear him and he's like, you go, girl. He's applauding me. He's there. He's proud. You know, our higher selves knows a lot of what's going on and what our potential could be for the things that we could have. Like, think about that one person that was in the right place just at the right time, and their whole lives exploded. Their dreams just came true in an instant. An example of that was I was watching one of those America's Got Talent videos or something, and it was just a clip. And apparently, on the breaks, they would have people from the audience get up and sing. Well, there was this little girl there. She was about 11 years old. And she finally had her chance to sing during the break. And she was brought up on stage to sing. And she said that she'd gone to many live tapings and it had always been her dream to be able to audition. So they decided to let her audition right then and there. And they gave her the gold buzzer. So really, people, live your life, because you do not know what is going to change it that fast, because it can change that fast. We know it because we often see it changing that fast in a negative way. But what about those positive ways? What about that, you know, that person that spends their last $20 and they get a lottery ticket and a pack of gum or something? You know, their lives changed so quickly from nothing to everything. Whew, that just feels so exciting right there. So I'm asking if there's anything else that my guide would like to say. I'm sure you've all noticed that when I focus in on my guide, I actually turn away from the camera. I always tend to turn to the right because that's where I sense them the most, is right there. So I feel a lot of when you feel a lot of good love, it gets emotional. You get overwhelmed. But it's pride. I'm sorry. I'm just an emotional mess all the time. But I'm feeling pride from them for me. They're like, you got it. You got the winning ticket. Like, this is it. This is how it all comes. So I'm asking for a card. Then they're asking me, for everybody just take a nice breath in. It doesn't have to be extra deep or anything like that. Just take it in and just, I'm proud of you. Say those words to yourself. I'm proud of you. And then exhale. Just in. I'm proud of you. At the top of that breath, and let it out. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Whew. This is it's like all of a sudden all the energy clears, right? Okay, first card is Invention, Burning with Passion. Number 11. There we go. Ones always seem to be like the angel numbers, right? Oh, second one. And the words, I got this. I got this. It's not easy. It is not easy making that shift from victim to victor. It's not easy because there's a lot of fight that has to happen in there. A lot of fight. Internally, mentally, emotionally, physically, to make yourself get up and do the things that you got to do. And we've been talking about that so much this year. So much. Getting yourself on the right side of you. I'm asking for the card, but I'm also asking what else they might want to relay, because I can still feel the presence, but it's different. So before I could feel like a form with the voice, but here I can just feel presence, and it's different. So I'm just asking for the second card. Okay, and it is rebirth. Oh, giving yourself a second chance. Number 22. You know, if the only thing you got out of this is these last two cards, as far as I'm concerned, that should be enough. That is by far, hands down, a divine message right there. Burning with passion. Number 11, invention. Number 22, rebirth, giving yourself a second chance. There we go. That's it. When you can move from victim to victor, and I don't even mean survivor, I mean victor. I mean having victory over all the shit that used to pull you down, and let it go, let it be. Just annihilate it. Annihilate it? I don't know. I didn't say that properly, but I know what I wanted to say. Annihilate. Destroy it. Destroy it so it has no control over you anymore. None. None. It doesn't need to have control over you. It's just an energy. It's just a feeling. It's not life. And I feel for so many young people who are trapped in that state of anxiety, in that state of panic, in that state of feeling like they can't get out when they can. It takes work and it takes a fight, but you can get out of it. Anyways, I thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I greatly appreciate it, and not sure if I'm going to get to see you, not sure when I'm going to get to see you tomorrow. But I also have some I also have free time. I have time for bookings coming up next week. So if you'd like a reading or a healing, please get a hold of me and I will let you know what I got available. Other than that, thank you for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it.